Hello, hello.
First question, Danielle.
Jalen obviously had a big offensive bounce back tonight, but what did you like about his intensity on the defensive end?
Yeah, I think that kind of ignited him a little bit. He got after it there. Was aggressive on both sides, and we need that from him. Podziemski was too comfortable last game. Much better job climbing up into him. And then switching on to Kerr, he was aggressive. Same thing when Hill came in, so I think that all carried over. But, he bounced back on both ends, obviously. Aggressive offensively, physical defensively, and that's what you're going to need against these guys.
What can you say about your team overall and how they were able to bounce back after a not-so-good showing in the first game?
Yeah, we guarded well enough last game, like we said. Held them to 95. Today is 94. And really in the 80s with some late buckets they had. But that carried over well, and we knew if we took care of the ball, got some shots, we were going to knock some of those down. And obviously Jalen was a big part of that, but everybody else contributed as well. And guys were aggressive, so that's what it looks like. We hold a team to that. We should have comfortable wins like we have all season. And like I said, first game's out of the way. Guys got their rhythm back, got their focus, confidence, never left. But get the jitters out and have a good offensive showing, we'll be in good shape.
A double-double for Alperen Sengun. What did you like about his performance, not only tonight, but just his first two games in general and the way he's kind of imposed his will?
Yeah, he's a matchup problem for teams, and they're switching all type of guys on him, kind of going after him. But he's patient, takes what they give him, and makes the right read most of the time. But we need his aggressiveness. He calms us down in the post. Like I said, we're putting him all over the court. You'll have your attack lanes and then be aggressive from there and make the right play. And so he took what they gave him, getting up 18 threes. They were helping off. They were going under and being aggressive with that. And then he goes 5 for 7 from the rest of the field with the assists and all that. And so nothing major. We expected to bounce back for a lot of guys that didn't shoot it well. And he showed that tonight. Obviously came out aggressive from the start. And then, like I said, the defense was a good carryover as well.
What did you see from your team when at moments when it felt like maybe Golden State could make a run and maybe kind of cut the lead, but you always had an answer for that? You guys always responded and extended the lead.
Yeah, it's just the simple things that got us there and what hurt us in game one. At that point you're up 20 and turnovers and threes are what are going to get them back in the game. And we have 2 quick turnovers, give up a 5-0 run with the threes, and then they get an 8-0 run. And so exactly what we said, will help them. And so you just got to calm it down and be deliberate with what you're trying to get at that point. And I think we still went to guys in the pick and roll and the post up and drew the crowd and made the right play and then knocked those shots down. So didn't lose our composure. Got chippy at the end as well. We got to keep our composure there a little bit more, but did what we did all game and made the right read and hit the shots.
Ime, we spoke about both Alp and Jalen's impact. I know it's just one game, but how much of their performance today is what this organization may have envisioned dating back to the offseason when you guys decided to invest in them for the future?
Yeah, they've had ups and downs over their first few years, but been pretty consistent, going back to last year and all this year. And so Jalen's leading scorer, Alpie's an all-star, and they all do it in different ways. But when they're both rolling, we're hard to beat, or we can go the balanced route with a bunch of guys scoring. And so we've done it every which way. And with them, it's experiences, getting it under their belt for the first time, and then just kind of going through it. And the message has been keep it simple. It's just basketball. And once you get it out of the way that first game, it's playoffs are here and do what you've been doing all year in your whole career. And so confident in them, obviously. We paid them, so we love them, and we got them here. And, they continue to grow, and it's great to see for the first time them going through this.
Coach, it seems as if this team thrives off the physicality, the altercations, the technical fouls. In terms of how it pertains to playoff basketball, do you see it as a positive thing in terms of getting your guys galvanized in the moment?
Yeah, it seems to always do that. That's who we are. That's our identity for the most part. So, like I said, from start of the playoffs, we don't have to flip the switch and try to get tougher, try to get more aggressive. That's kind of what we built everything on. And so that carries over to the playoffs. We understand that, and if they let us play, both teams, it's in our favor for the most part. Golden State as well. It's physical. You just have to play through it. You can't expect it on one end and then cry about it on the other. And so if it gets chippy, we've seen over the last 2 years, that works in our favor for the most part, gets us amped up. But when you have a lead up 20 and things start to happen, you understand why, and that's kind of the last resort by teams. You got to keep your composure at that point and just stay calm.
Coach, you mentioned the focus being on making shots for this second game. Some people's critics say that y'all don't have a closer, somebody that can necessarily close out games for you. What's your response to the critics that say that?
Well, we've done it every which way this year. Like I said, we can do it by committee, anybody's night on a given game, and then you have nights like this with Jalen going for 38, and we've had Alpie and Jalen going for 30 each. So they make the right play, they draw the crowd, and where they both grown is getting everybody else involved. And the fact that they can break defenses down and create shots for themselves, the onus is on them to get guys involved. And we space it out with shooters, cutters, lob threats, and all those things, and it works well for us. So however we get it done, we figured out all year different ways, and tonight it was Jalen's turn.
Ime, when it does get chippy like this and physical, how much do you just enjoy coaching that style of game yourself personally?
Yeah, I don't mind it. It's good for us. It's who we kind of are. Minus the towel throw, you'd like to keep your composure at that point. And, told Tari that. Obviously, he's not even in the game, so he shouldn't be over there doing none of that. But, yeah, it's what we built ourselves on. Like I said, the identity, and everybody's bought into that and makes us who we are. So I think our guys all kind of thrive on that. Just got to keep composure, especially when you have the lead.
You talked a little bit about Alpe's defense earlier. Can you talk a little bit more about it? It seemed like he was showing extremely hard on the picks they were trying to set for Curry, and he was really aggressive out on the perimeter.
Yeah, they're going to put him in that action, make him the last guy in the screen, and try to slip to the basket. So it's a full team defense on Curry. We don't want him to overcommit, and we're not switching with him. So the weak side has to be ready for those slips. And if someone gets cracked, he kind of saves the day there. And he's doing a good job playing off Moody, playing off Peyton and some of those guys. And Fred is doing a hell of a job on Draymond, kind of sniffing out some actions. And so it's different for him, but he's done it quite a bit this year, so he's accustomed to it. It's just you have to be even more frantic, obviously, with Curry and his shooting ability and how they're all hunting shots for him. So great job there. It takes a lot of energy to obviously go one-on-one ISOs and the things he does in the pick and roll, setting screens, but working differently on the defensive end as well, and he's done a great job.
Pace of play was a major topic of discussion between Game 1 and tonight. Just overall, how did you feel about the kind of flow of this game?
It was decent. We get stops. We want to get out and run. Obviously, we took advantage of those opportunities more tonight, finished there and didn't turn it over as much. But at the same time, you have to know when to slow it down and get a quality shot, not just get in the rat race. They kind of want to play that up and down style, and we feel we can get stops and as well as get out and run or score in the half court and have that balance. And so when they did get up and down a little bit in the end of the half and the start of that fourth quarter, you could slow it down and kind of go to a specific action. And so we want to get out and run, use our athleticism as much as possible, but feel comfortable doing it the other way as well.
Coach, a lot of things that won't show up in the book tonight will be what Fred VanVleet was able to do as far as keeping his composure, keeping his team's composure. How much does that mean to a team like yours, such a young team, that you have that type of veteran that can calm everything down and help them regain their composure? Yeah,
it's been a constant from day one with him. Not making shots right now, but playing 42 minutes, a lot of work for a guy like him to chase, bang with Draymond Green. Like I said, sniff out those actions and switch on the guys. And then when a man goes out, he switches on to Curry, and he's picking him up full court and getting through screens and all those things. And so that's a lot on him there, but, that's what he's up for, and kind of the leader on both ends, really, to calm us down offensively, but, bring that edge and toughness and versatility defensively. And so may not look like it, with the 7 points or whatever, but obviously we got him back in when they went to zone. He's great at figuring that out, but the job he's doing defensively, you got to commend him for it. He's guarding bigger guys, chasing guys around, and using his smarts and toughness for sure.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you. Thank you.
Just what were the emotions as you saw? Well, Brandon wasn't feeling great, and then Jimmy go down, right? Kind of in a real quick succession there. What were you thinking? What was that emotion like?
There's really no time to even feel any emotion. You just respond and react with what you have to do terms of making a sub and trying to think about new substitution patterns, who you want to pair together, all that kind of stuff. So obviously, feel terrible for Jimmy. Hopefully he's okay. We'll see. He's going to get an MRI tomorrow. And BP, really proud of him for making the effort. He's been feeling terrible all day, and he tried. He got an IV at halftime, just didn't have it. So tough night. We'll bounce back.
Talk to Jimmy at all possible?
Yeah.
Are you optimistic, or are you just kind of?
Jimmy always says he's going to be fine. But we have to wait to see with the MRI.
What did you think of the foul, or how he went down? Did you think it was in?
I haven't seen the replay. I asked our guys behind the bench, and they just said it looked like there was some physicality on the rebound, and I think Thompson inadvertently found himself underneath Jimmy just based on the tug of war that was going on there. So we didn't think there was anything wrong with the play. It's just one of those plays.
What did you generally think of just kind of the physicality and tension that seems to be rising in this series?
Yeah, Houston played great. They were really physical. Just like we expected, they came out with amazing force defensively, and obviously Green got going, and that loosened our defense up quite a bit, and so it was their night. They played a great game at both ends of the floor, and so we just got to lick our wounds and back to work tomorrow.
You got Steve. You got pretty hot in the first quarter. Got pretty contentious. What were you talking about there? What was your?
Just the usual stuff. It's playoff time. Everybody's hyped up. I think I was mad because Gary got tripped. Gary had a dunk, clearly got tripped, and I thought there should have been a foul called, and it wasn't. But the stuff happens, and I thought tonight's game was all about Houston just outplaying us.
Did you say anything to Draymond after that fourth quarter? It seemed like he got a little chippy.
I haven't talked to Draymond yet. So it's he's a competitor. He's always going to be in the mix, and so I'll ride with Draymond forever. The guy's an amazing winner and competitor, and it's not ideal when a crowd is chanting "F you, Draymond." It's just I don't know. It did in Boston a few years ago in the finals. It is what it is.
Is that something that you guys talk about prior to?
I'm sorry?
Is that something you guys talk to Draymond about prior to the games?
No, he's been around forever. He's an instigator. He's always going to be in the mix, and because of his career, his championships, his fire, he's going to be a lightning rod, and that's all part of it. I would prefer, if fans could use a little more discretion and, remember that, the guy has kids, and, it's like there's kids. I don't know. Maybe I'm old school, but I'm all for the fans cheering for their team, and if they want to yell at the opponents, great, but I don't know. I just think FU it's a little much.
Steve, after Jimmy went out, did you notice the Warriors maybe keying on Steph a little bit, or what did you notice from how they defended you
After
all?
Jimmy went out?
After Jimmy went out.
Well, they were keyed on Steph anyway. They're going to be really aggressive. They're going to blitz him. Obviously, we've got to be able to counter that. We had too many turnovers against that pressure. So they were blitzing him, and they got the ball out of his hands a little bit. And we weren't able to counter and generate enough good offense to win the game.
Obviously, you've always got to be ready to play, even if you're out of the rotation. Did you feel like Jonathan was ready? What did you see
Yeah,
from
Jonathan
him?
was ready. He's been great. He's been preparing every single day, keeping a great attitude. Game one, he was on the bench cheering the entire time. he's a great young guy. JK's an awesome young guy, and his teammates respect him and pull for him. And he stayed ready and got some minutes, and it's good because we may need him, and he needed to develop a little rhythm after missing the last few games.
Specifically, if Jimmy is out or limited, is Kuminga the natural next kind of guy into the rotation?
Yeah, we'll see how it all plays out. I mean, we have to. If Jimmy's out, we have to rethink, everything like rotations and who starts and the best combinations and all that stuff.
Kind of following up on that, I mean, obviously Jimmy's a great, invaluable player, but how does your dynamic change, and how will it have to change if he can't play in Game 3?
I think it's just too early for me to even talk about that. We have to watch the film, and we have to figure out, what our plan would be. This is the playoffs. This is, it's an incredibly physical sport. Stuff happens, people get injured, and it's all part of it. And there's no time to lament anything. You can feel bad for your player, but you have to move on to what's next. And, so that's hopefully Jimmy will be able to play, but if not, then we've got to go through our options and put together a plan.
Having rewatched the film, what did you think of how they defended Steph?
How they defended Steph? Well, they were physical with him, blitzed him quite a bit. He got himself into a couple of spots where he got into trouble with the dribble, and but he's Steph Curry. I mean, he's just amazing what he's able to play through, physicality, blitzing, trapping, all that stuff. So he did a great job. We just didn't have enough tonight.
What did you think of your guys' competitive level? You got Pat Spencer jumping in with 9 points.
It's awesome. Yeah.
Do you think there was a fight shown by you guys?
No, it was a great fight by our guys. I thought Loon came in, gave us really good minutes. For Pat to just come off the bench and give us some offense and generate some good possessions. Quentin Post knocking down some threes. I thought our guys really fought, and it's a 10-point game after the first quarter. That's when they really kind of punched us in the mouth, and we hung in there. We didn't make it all the way back, but we competed and we hung in there, and proud of the guys.
Does that put you guys in?
Well, we wanted two, but we didn't get two. We got one, and they're a hell of a team. They're the 2 seed for a reason, and so it's a good trip. Not a great trip, but it's a good trip, and excited to get home and play in front of our home crowd.
Steve, was Gary okay? Because it looked like he was stretching out his back on the sideline.
I don't know. Yeah. Thanks.
This Rockets team, their switchability on defense, is that something that is giving your offense problems, that they can kind of manipulate any kind of screen that you guys are running?
They're running some funky matchups, where they're guarding, like their bigs are guarding some of their wings, and we just kind of have to adjust. But yeah, they played really good. Defensively tonight, it was hard for us to score the ball.
Have you ever been in a series or a couple of basketball games as intense as this one, and what is your takeaway from these 2 games in Houston?
That the playoffs is very physical, and I got to be better personally, moving my feet, and got to get more physical boxing out. And as a team, we'll bounce back. We'll be ready for Game 3.
Quentin, Jimmy's had such a dramatic impact on this team the last 2 months. When he goes down like that, what are the emotions like among you guys? And basketball-wise, what do you have to do with him out if he can't play in Game 3?
He means a lot to us, obviously. When he went out, it kind of took the wind out of our sails a little bit. But I thought we fought back. We put up a good fight, and we'll be ready for Game 3.
Did you get to check in with him at all after the game? Do you know how he's doing?
Yeah, I asked him how he was doing. He said he was fine, but we'll see after. We'll see what the diagnosis says after tomorrow.
When you think about the physicality you mentioned, how would you describe how physical tonight was compared to Game 1?
I mean, I think you saw a lot more emotions from both sides tonight. Game 1, I don't think there was a big difference. We just couldn't score the ball tonight. Some of their players got loose, made a lot of shots. So yeah, but we know they're a physical team, and we just got to do a better job of matching that.
You guys have scored under 100 points both of these 2 games. What will it take to get the offense going how you guys need it to go?
Let's see. We just can't turn the ball over. We got to find a rhythm, right? In Game 1, we had Jimmy. Today we didn't, so that kind of disturbed our pace. We got sped up a little bit, but we'll be fine. We'll find a way to, settle us down, get good shots. We'll be fine.
I know it's not your position, your responsibility, but what do you think led to Jalen Green really getting going like he did for them?
No, it is also on me because they tried, whenever I was out there, they tried to put me in the ball screen. So I just, on my job, I got to be better. I let him get loose in the first half. He split me, got to the rim, and then our guards, they need to pressure him more. We need to take away what he wants to do. It was too easy for him tonight, so it's on everybody, but it's also most definitely on me.
You mentioned without Jimmy, you guys got sped up with the pace. Can you sort of articulate the areas of the game that become more difficult without him?
Yeah, I mean, he was very clearly our second option behind Steph, and on some nights he was probably our first option, that 1-2 punch. So, I mean, Steph did his thing, and then when Jimmy's not there, then somebody else has to step up, and we have to create a form of offense. So especially when Steph was out, I thought it was hard for us to find an identity on offense, and that's hard, when you when somebody has such an impact throughout, since he came in, and then you just have to find that in other ways. Thank you, guys.
Jalen, what was the key behind your defensive intensity tonight?
Really just, be aggressive, pressure the ball. I feel, or the coaches telling us that, they were a little comfortable first game, able to, be able to execute their plays and stuff. So we just wanted to give them a little bit more pressure.
What does it mean that tonight you won your first playoff game and you did it on a night where you and Alperen Sengun, who you were drafted with, were both feeling it?
Yeah, no, it's super special. I'm happy I was able to, show up with him this game. First game jitters was a little over my head, but I'm glad we got the win. The job not done yet, so we gotta go to the Bay and handle business.
Jalen, you mentioned the first game jitters.
Mm-hmm.
How much did that affect you, and how much better did you feel tonight? Or was it just a matter of shots falling, or was it a mindset thing?
It was more so mindset. But yeah, that first game, the lights were bright, the crowd was here, the court looked huge. So yeah, I couldn't really get a chance to settle in. My legs was a little shaky, but that's part of it. Went through it, and I feel like I did a good job answering back. Yeah.
Sure. And at what point tonight were you like, hey, I've got it, I'm back to my old self?
From the beginning, my whole mindset from today was, to go in, being aggressive, and get back to being myself.
Any helpful conversations in recent days, or any introspection from you between game 1 or 2 that you found helpful?
No, I mean, obviously with our coaches and stuff, he was just telling me, I gotta be myself, and that's what we worked on in practices and things like that, spacing wise, and just so that I could see what they finna do out there. But outside of my coaching staff, I'm not really listening to nobody else. I would like to keep everything present.
Tari, what was your mindset tonight, the way that you came in as aggressive as you was?
Same as it always is. Just go out there, compete, do whatever I can do to help the team win. I'd say I struggled the first game, but I didn't really waver in confidence or anything much, just because I knew it was just a matter of shots falling. So I stayed with what works, which is the work, and continued to just kind of stay in the gym, and shots fell. So just the same mindset going into each and every game. Go out there, compete, go out and do whatever I can do to help my team win.
Jalen, before the series, Steph Curry had mentioned how he remember when he coached you guys, in a camp. There was a moment today where you guys dove in a loose ball. You guys were kind of fighting over it. What is it like for you to be competing, for a championship and trying to compete in the playoffs against, guys that you looked up to, and how much fun is it, just the competitiveness, the chippiness, how much you guys embracing that? And that one's for both of you guys. Sorry. I'll start with you, Jalen, but
Okay, yeah.
start with that.
I didn't go to his camp. I wasn't invited.
This is growing up, you go to camp and stuff. Obviously, I was at his camp, so growing up, you work hard for moments like this. Not even at his camp, I was able to work out with Steph. Growing up, I was driving from Fresno to Oakland just to get a workout in. So to be on this stage, playing against him, it's pretty cool. But, it ain't really a look up to you type of thing no more. It gave me between the lines, compete. I'm trying to win just like he trying to win. So.
Tari, today I learned that tossing a towel is a hostile act. What led up to that moment, and how would you explain just how chippy this game got?
I didn't even see it, though. I didn't even see you throw the towel. I'm like,
I'd say my emotions just got the best of me. That's really all it was. In between the lines, you got to know you got to keep it basketball, and that's really all it is. And I'm going to just be better for my team moving forward and controlling my emotions. I know that, with them, some of the guys they have over there, their thing is to kind of try to, beat you mentally. And, if you know basketball is 90% mental. So I just got to, stay even keel and, move on.
It seems as if you guys this year have thrived on the physicality, the grit, the toughness. How much of that is going to be important in this series against a team that likes to play those mind games at times? And how do you see it galvanizing you guys going forward?
I mean, this is who we've been all season. We've been a tough team. We've been a grit and grimy team all season. I mean, since we've gotten together. So nothing changes. Series, team, we are who we are.
How much does it help having a guy like Fred to kind of keep everything together on the court, calm you guys down, and really a lot of the stuff he does doesn't show up in the box score? Can you just talk about how important he is?
I mean, he's been in this situation before, especially during times, that we get sped up and take shots early in the shot clock with 5 minutes in the fourth quarter. His biggest thing is just to execute and get a good shot, but the main thing is, the main thing, yeah. the main thing is, his leadership and just, holding us down and making sure, we all on the same page and thinking alike out there.
Jalen, you had a bunch of assists early in the game. Were there some opportunities in game one that you maybe missed to have some? And once you did start...
I saw your tweet.
Did you?
I saw your tweet, yeah. There was. I kind of knew how they was... I knew how they were going to guard me. They've been guarding me the same way all season, bringing that extra guy to help in the paint. Like I said, high first game, jitters a little bit, and rhythm was probably thrown off, wasn't thinking straight, but, them is reads that I've been making all season. So I feel like tonight I executed with that, and that's something to carry on through the series.
Did that open things up for you at all once you started doing that early in the game?
Yeah, for sure. I didn't see that person in the paint no more.
After talking with some of the critics of the game, they've said one of the things this team is missing for being a championship contender is a closer. You really performed tonight in terms of Jalen. I know you're a big fan of Tari. What's your response to those critics that say y'all are missing a closer?
I said it before. They hated Jesus. People are going to say anything about anybody. Like, I don't know what you want me to do about somebody else's opinion on us. If we listen to somebody else's opinion on us, then we wouldn't be where we are today. Likewise with everybody else in this room. So, you take that how you want to.
What are your thoughts, Jalen?
I'm not really tripping. I'm gonna go out and handle business at the end of the day. At the end of the day, that ball gonna be in my hands in the fourth quarter, and we're gonna make something happen.
Last one, Kelly.
This is for Jay. I think Steph had 6 turnovers tonight. What was the game plan going into it, just in terms of being aggressive with him at the point of attack?
Just to be up, not let him, have freedom. Always be able to touch and, put a body on him. Steph is one of the best at, moving around and running off screens and, just staying mobile. So, we wanted to kind of make it hard for him, and I think we did a good job of that.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Appreciate it.
Can you kind of describe the play, what happened on the play where kind of Jimmy it seemed like you guys were in a rebound mix and Jimmy obviously got undercut and got hurt?
I don't know. I was trying to box out Thompson, and somehow he ended up under Jimmy's legs. I don't know. I didn't see it.
How significant, not only obviously was losing Jimmy, but, I guess kind of somewhat the shock of losing him?
It was significant. Anytime you lose one of your best players, one of your top dogs, it's tough to overcome. But thought we did a good job fighting, giving ourselves a chance. We just couldn't get over the hump.
How much more physical was this game compared to game one?
Thought it was a little less physical than game one.
Draymond, Jimmy's had such a dramatic impact at both ends of the court on this team. How does the way you play have to change if he can't play in Game 3?
Sure, we'll have to figure that out. It's no easy task in replacing Jimmy. Obviously, we all know what he's meant to this team since he's been here, and we've kind of tailored our offense a bit around him. So. That will have to change a bit, but we'll see. He's tough. We got a couple days off, so we'll take it day by day and see where we get.
Draymond, Steve mentioned how it bothered him that the crowd yelled what it yelled. F you, of course. I'm just wondering, did you notice it? Did you let it? How did you feel about that?
It's not original. Been there before, won a championship while it's happening. So, yeah, it's not really an original. Can't steal other people's shit. That belongs to Boston. So, I kind of just kept it pushing.
What do you think you guys didn't do well? Why did you think you guys lost today?
Well, I just don't think we were able to get over the hump. We kind of hung around, but we just couldn't make that push to get over, 9 points, 11 points, cut it to 9 again, cut it to 11, and just couldn't get over the hump. So watch the film, figure it out, be better on Saturday.
Were you able to talk to Jimmy and see how he feels?
If Jimmy's only going to tell you he feel good. You good? Of course. So we'll see. He's given me 0 reasons to not believe anything he says. So I do believe him.
What made Jalen Green so tough to defend tonight?
He made some shots. He got going early, which boosts your confidence after the game he had in game one. It was going for him tonight. We'll figure out what he did better and come back ready for it in game 3.
What happened with you and Fred towards the end there?
Nothing. We were just talking. Everybody came and surrounded and started pushing. But a lot happened if I didn't get attacked. If anything happened, I would get attacked. So nothing happened. We were just standing there talking.
I don't like like doing this by myself, man.
You'll be fine.
First question, Bashar.
Before you came out, Ime was talking about your defensive effort and how you've gotten a lot better on defense this season. Can you talk a little bit about the training that you did and how you were able to help contain Curry? You seem like you did a really good job out on the perimeter against him.
I mean, me and Ben was talking the other day. He was saying, when you want it, you're really doing good defense. And then I said the same thing. I said, yeah, when I really want it, I can do it, you know. So I can focus on over there and do best I can. And there's a playoff now. There's no rest time, no relax time, nothing. So just being focused on the both ends on the game.
Christy. You and Jalen have been here together the whole time after being drafted together. What was it like to see him have such a huge game tonight for you guys?
It's just great. Great being seeing him hooping like that, playing aggressive, seeing him happy and focused, you know, because we need that. We can do this without him, and that's his bone of our team. So when he's good, we all good. We helping him. We do defense, everything, you know. We do what we do, and then he just scores and helps a lot.
Alpi, you had 7 assists tonight. How much more dangerous is this team when you're able to facilitate instead of just scoring the ball like in Game 1?
It just, you know, we go game by game. First game, I was more aggressive. This game, I mean, they were helping a lot last game too, so we watch films, see what's going on. And second game, just be careful, be careful and see the floor more. And just, I was doing that, and Jalen was going up, so I was trying to find them out there.
Albie, what was it like for y'all trying to navigate foul trouble in such a physical game? You guys got into foul trouble, some of your key guys early in the game, navigating that in such a physical game.
You know, that's just we set the tone in the beginning of the game. We have 6 fouls. It's not easy to get there, so we use all our physicality and get the fouls, not the easy fouls. You know, just. The thing is set the tone.
Albie, when they're physical with you and when they try to get under your skin a little bit, do you think you send any sort of a message when you don't react and when you're able to keep your composure?
I mean, you know, we watching the films, like I said, they're going to do that, and I'm just ready for it, you know. That's a playoff time now, and they're going to be grabbing too, so we do the same thing, and there's just no complaining out there, you know. We're just going to go over there and play. Hopefully nobody gets hurt, but, you know, until then we can just play hard, physical.
Alfie, you faced 2 playoff games now, 1 loss and 1 victory. What have been kind of your biggest takeaways from the losses and then also from turning it around into a victory?
I think first game we still did a great job on defense. We just couldn't figure out an offense. Then today that was my job, just trying to find the open guys, you know, and get the other ones going on too. So I think again today we did a great job on defense, and we were better in the offense too, and that's bring us the game.
Alpi, there were moments where the crowd really got involved. You guys were hyping them up. Just being in this environment, how fun is it now that you're here? You got a couple games in your belt. How much are you enjoying everything that comes with the playoffs?
It's so fun, man. Playing against Golden State is fun. You know, being, we knew it. They're gonna do that. So they're trying to get in our head. So we just try to be calm. We have a lot of young guys, and we have some old guys too. So and they're trying to tell us. They're trying to keep us calm. So this is game 2. We have more to come, and we're gonna be more focused on that.
Thank you, Alfie.
Thank you.
Steph, how did you feel like Jimmy Butler going out of the game in that first quarter affected the offense, and what did you notice from the Rockets defensively after that?
I mean, it's tough. I haven't seen him play yet, but Jimmy's going for a rebound and comes down. I've had that happen a couple of times. You know exactly what it is. It's just a matter of how bad it was, and I don't know, but it definitely changed the dynamic of, our offense, it's even him and BP played a combined 21 minutes, so it's kind of it shuffled all the rotations a little bit, and we put up a good fight, but I knew they were selling out again to try to take my clean looks away, and I got a little rushed certain possessions trying to go 1-on-3 or sometimes 4, and had a couple jump ball turnovers and stuff like that. But I know we'll be able to adjust going home just to be able to figure out where spacing is, whether Jimmy's out there or not, to get ourselves clean looks. We had a couple runs second half where we had some life, but they had too much separation. We couldn't get over the hump.
Did you get a chance to talk to Jimmy either at halftime or right after the game, and any get a feel for how he's feeling right now?
Nah, I'm sure 800 people have asked him, so I didn't want to be 801. I know if he can play, he'll play, and that's what you expect.
What are the first few days after a contusion like that, the ones that you've dealt with, what do they feel like? And, is it a pain tolerance thing generally to see if you can play?
I don't want to speak on what he's got going on because one of mine was like a hairline fracture and the other one was just a deep contusion, so they're very different and you have to handle them differently. The last one I had was just a contusion, and that is just a pain tolerance thing to make sure you don't have, it doesn't change your mechanics, or there's not compensation injuries that could happen if you're not moving right. So yeah, I think hopefully it's just a contusion because you could play through that eventually.
Draymond said he thought it was less physical tonight than Game 1. What did you think of just the overall physicality Houston brought?
Actually, I might agree with that. There's just a couple crashes that happened out there, but it felt like they were. We know what their MO is and what they're trying to do. Use their size, their athleticism, their size advantage at times to try to bully us. And we held up a pretty good fight both games. I think we just let Jalen get going a little bit, and he got free to space. There's no reason he should get up 18 threes. We got to figure out a way to control where he is on the floor. Those are all momentum threes that kind of kept the separation. So, yeah, probably, as physical as Game 1, but just a different style because we let him get loose.
Steph, I think you guys have been held under 100 in 5 of the 7 games total this season against them. Is that just how the series is going to go with their style of play, or how do you guys combat that?
How many times have they been under 100? That's just the style of, this matchup. So I don't care what the score is, as long as we got more points. We got to get back to
that. You always say, stay ready even if you're out of the rotation. Jonathan's obviously been out for a while. Did you know he would be ready, and did you think he performed like someone who was ready tonight?
I thought he played aggressive. I know he probably wants to play better and, knock the rust off, but as soon as Jimmy went down, I actually saw him on the bench and gave him a little love and knew he was going to get his number called pretty quickly. And that is the nature of this league. We talked about it all the time. It's just hard to know and predict when it's going to be, but for him to come out and play with energy and aggressive, with aggressiveness, and just understand he can impact the game, and he's going to have a huge part in what we do. I think whether Jimmy's out there or not, it feels like it could swing a different way. And so that's the challenge, and it's always been for him to see the pictures, understand the intensity that's out there, try to be in the right spots defensively, and then when he has opportunities to, be aggressive on the offensive end, take them. We trust him when he has the ball in his hands, and however many minutes he's out there, and be ready to play.
Steph, so get rebounding was a challenge tonight. So
what?
Rebounding was a challenge tonight. What gave you guys confidence that the team can make necessary adjustment next game?
I thought it was better. They got only 11 offensive rebounds. Obviously, they made more shots, but they only got 11 offensive rebounds. I don't think that was more the problem tonight. We, again, let Jalen get loose on some big momentum threes. He took advantage of some matchups. So I liked our attention to detail on the offensive end, the offensive rebounding, and trying to keep them off the glass. Just got to get more stops.
Steph, obviously losing Jimmy hurts, but how does it change the way you play tonight? Excuse me, or you need to play if you can't play game 3? I mean, you've obviously structured a lot of offense and defense around his skill set these last 2 months. How stylistically, how does the equation change, do you think?
Well, no, we'll talk. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about it. He could be back next game, so I don't want to dwell too much on it. But if for whatever reason he's not out there, I'll carry a lot of the lift and the load on trying to create shots and create advantages. We'll have different rotations out there, but yeah, there's a couple plays that we call for him specifically, but the rest of it is just trying to make the simple play, not turn the ball over, hit the open guy, set solid screens, shoot if you're open. It's normal basketball. It's just a matter of can we do it consistently enough, make enough shots. I don't think it's too much rocket science. It's just got to be able to do it.
Hey, Steph, you played in a lot of playoff series, and so you've seen all kinds of things happen. Is this what you expect with these two teams? One team makes an adjustment, the other team makes the adjustment just for the entire series. Is that what you expect?
I think the goal is when you start on the road, you want to get one. That's what we did. We wanted to get greedy tonight and try to get another one. But you had to expect that they were going to come out with some force, and you look around the league, evenly matched series have pretty much gone that same kind of way, whether the road team wins the first game or the second game. It's just it's a long series, and we've shown that we have what it takes to put together a 48-minute effort and beat a very good Houston Rockets team. We got to do it 3 more times, however we can get there. So there's going to be adjustments every game, and that's what you love about the playoffs, because you're really trying to figure out a team, and they're trying to figure out you, and it's a game of runs.
When you talk about seeing the pictures with Kuminga, what do you mean by that?
Understanding where help side defense is, where your driving angles are, and not driving into a crowd. If you're open, shoot it. All the decisions that you make pretty quickly. I think when we're at our best as a team, not just him, when we're at our best as a team, either me or Jimmy creates an advantage. We swing the ball. The ball starts hopping. You either get somebody at the basket, or you get a clean look from 3. You create closeouts that are really hard for teams to have to guard consistently, and just understanding where your spots are, and being aggressive in those opportunities.
You said if Jimmy can't play, you'll have to carry a lot of the lift, and he sort of memorably called himself Robin to your Batman. If he can't play, does Batman have to find another Robin, or is it multiple Robins, or how do you view that?
I love we're trying to stretch the nickname. I don't know. I'm not too familiar with the comic world to have any other references other than we just got to find a way to win. And it's been by committee, maybe not scoring wise, but in terms of the pieces fitting and connecting the game offensively and defensively. So whoever's out there still have the confidence that we can win.
Steph, I think there was a moment when you and Jalen were fighting for ball on the ground. I don't know if y'all were joking, or it seemed like y'all came up with a laugh. What were y'all saying in that moment, if you remember?
There's a lot of rah-rah stuff in those kind of tussles for the ball, and especially in their home crowd. Fred did it game 1 when he when I lost it at the free throw line on our side, and he tied it up. And Jalen did it twice tonight. It's just good basketball. I know Jalen from a long time, so I was just trying to prove I was stronger than him.
Steph,
Say what? We'll arm wrestle after the series is over. We'll see.
hey, Steph, what would you say has been the biggest challenge for you facing this young Houston Rockets team, first game and second game?
Just knowing that if I get by on the first defender, there's going to be another wave of defenders, collapsing. They put 4 different guys on me in the first 2 games. Fred, Dylan, Eason. So they try to keep a fresh body on you, but they're trying to take away a lot of the off-ball stuff, which we know is our kind of pet actions to get me, free if they're going to trap the ball screens and all that. But I'm seeing a good picture, understanding where some space is, and I'll make the necessary adjustments for Game 3.
What do you need from your teammates offensively to kind of relieve some of that pressure?
Just keep the game simple. You don't got to overthink anything. Just shoot when you're open, pass the open guy. I'll keep myself out of those traps and tough spots on the court where I think there was 3 times tonight I ran into 2 or 3 different defenders, and there was a couple jump balls, and I lost the turnover in the third quarter. So I'll try to keep the game simple on my end too. But if you're open, shoot it. If not, swing it. Run, transition to open space. Again, it's not a complicated game plan. It's just can we execute and can we make enough shots? And I think we can.